Ayun. Gosh, parang parang malabo na naman yata ulit yung video ko tonight for some reason. Hello, Moki. Good evening sa'yo. Nice to see you. Wait lang. I'll just adjust this real quick. Bigyan niyo ako a few seconds. Okay. Hmm, mukhang mukhang hindi siya nag-a-adjust. Pero okay lang yan. Like, what matters here is like I'll be sharing my raw thoughts tonight, as always. This is Kage Harry, and I'll start my timer na. And all good. So, yung topic natin for tonight is one of the things that's super fascinating, like for me. The topic of failures, specifically my failures, okay? But before I dive into yung mga kwento ko about mga memorable na pagkakamali ko sa buhay, may mga impactful na pagkakamali ko sa buhay, no? I just wanna dive into a few top of mind concepts na about failure itself, no? These are based on years of trial and error. Ilang beses na ako nasaktan, ilang beses nalugi sa business, nagkamali ng piniling tao na pagbigyan ng aking puso, di ba? Like, there's different shapes and forms of how I failed in specific circumstances, specific choices, specific seasons even. Pero yun, eto, overarching na ano concepts. Madalas nakikita ko yung mga quotes about failure na parang failure is a part of success or a stepping stone to success or along those lines na it's a necessary thing before you figure things out. Kumbaga na it's our way of offsetting yung fears natin, anxiety and worries about failure. Na tipong nangyari is, oh, okey lang mag-fail. Kasi it can turn into something beautiful, it can turn into something amazing, something good, something fruitful. To some extent, that's true. That's true. However, I also see madalas nangyayari because of that like approach or ano bang tawag diyan? That viewpoint or perspective about failure, it seems like parang okey na lang magkamali lagi. Eh, parang because of that, yes, it gets us moving, but it affects the standards by which we are aiming our performance and results to 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 be, 'di ba? So, kumbaga if okey lang mag-fail lagi, then maapektuhan eventually kung ano yung tina-try mong i-hit, 'di ba? Or yung performance mo in the process of trying to hit that. Well, there's this thing na, I've discovered through the years. It's not really failure itself, uh, that's that's the crucial part. It's inevitable. Like kumbaga magkakamali ka talaga and may mga bagay na hindi magwo-work out. Pero what you do after that determines if you'll move forward or not. It's not failure itself. Kumbaga, it's a variable thing. Yung choices pa rin natin before failing, while failing, and even after you failed at something is what matters. Kasi, example, hindi ka pa nagfe-fail, 'di ba? It's the pre-context. Wala pa talaga. Like, ita-try mo pa lang yung something, hindi ka pa nagfe-fail. So, papunta pa lang dun. But, have you set yourself up with like the notion na kahit mag-fail ako, magpapatuloy ako? Okay. That's very different from hindi mo pa yun na-set out from the start. Tapos while you are failing, if things are not working out in the middle of you trying something, like, if wala rin yung nakaset na intention and notion na, even if this is failing, I'm gonna learn from it. Dito sa mga mistakes na 'to, I'm gonna pipigain ko 'tong sitwasyon na 'to and kukunin ko, e-extract ko kung ano yung puwede kong ma-improve because of this. If wala rin yung gano'ng intention, then usually failure halos wala lang, failure lang siya. It's just a sad, depressing thing. And then yung post, which is ano na yung magiging choices mo moving forward, even despite nangyari na yung failure. That actually matters even more because that resets direction towards something that you can create na afterwards, no? Um, Kaya ko 'to gustong pag-usapan kasi, well, in different ventures I have had in life, key concept again, not all failure, not all types of failure or kinds and shapes and forms of failure will have equal damage or impact. Merong mga failure na it takes a long time to recover from. Um, and I've seen lots of this, even in my own life and in the life of other entrepreneurs that I know. Um, when all you have is your life savings, and then yung life savings na yun, ininvest mo into a specific business, and then yung business na yun hindi nag-thrive, tapos nalugi, eh, it's very different kasi life savings mo yun, eh, 'di ba? Ibang yes, failure siya and yes, you can learn from it and yes, puwedeng sabihin mo na kahit mag-fail 'to magtutuloy ako. Habang nagfe-fail ka dun sa moment na yun, sige I'll learn from this. And puwedeng even after mag-fail yun sabihin mo, I'll make better choices moving forward. Pero you have 500K na inipon mo for years of your life and then nawala because that business failed. Wala ka na ulit nung 500K na yun na puwede mong maging stepping stone to restart moving forward, okey? Iba na yung set ng resources na meron ka and puwede mo pa rin namang magamit moving forward pero magkaiba yung sitwasyon, right? And some failures cost us money, cost us relationships, cost us our health, cost us, yung capacity natin to like do other things like some failures, yung reputasyon natin yung nasisira. So, yung nalilimitahan yung opportunities natin moving forward, it depends. Really depends. Hindi lahat ng failure na pwede nating ma-experience ay pantay-pantay ng damage o impact. When I say damage, these are the consequences from your failures. Impact is more the positive side. No, if you fail at that thing, iba-iba rin yung klase ng learnings that you can draw from. Iba-iba rin yung klase ng mga value na pwede mo ma-create out of the rubble of that failure. Okay? So I'm saying this as key concepts kasi in my own life, in the life of people that I know, magkakaiba talaga yung variables eh. Hindi lahat ng failure automatically becomes a stepping stone towards a better future. Yung choices natin matter. And yung pangalawa naman, hindi lahat ng failure kasing bilis kang makakapag-recover from or kasing, ah, kasing rich yung learnings na you can get from those types of failures. Now here's the thing, habang tumatanda tayo, especially ako ramdam na ramdam ko 'to nung early, I started like, businesses like officially around 16 years old. But so mas adventurous pa ako noon, mas risk taker ako, mas marami akong binabanatan na opportunities, nag-e-explore ako na nag-e-explore. Habang tumatanda ako, ta's alam mo yun, magsisimula ka ng something, minsan okey for a time, minsan naman bagsak kaagad sa simula pa lang, minsan okey na, sa akala mo mag-fly off na, tapos eventually like puwede rin siyang mag-die down ulit. Like different different scenarios in starting businesses. And what happens is, habang tumatanda ako mas nararamdaman ko yung pressure na kailangan ko ng mag-create ng something na magiging matino, magiging long term, yung tipong maaasahan ko na to provide for myself consistently and puwede ring maging foundation ng ano, ng better lifestyle moving forward. Hindi yung next month ko unpredictable pa rin or next 2 months ko, so parang hindi mo alam kung ano yung puwedeng mangyari and kailangan mo laging maghabol. Habang tumatanda ako nararamdaman ko yung pressure na yan, like nung nasa ano na ako, mid-20s na ako. Ah, like dumating sa point na it's really a big contributing factor to my anxiety, to my depression. Um, and I actually medyo rebelde talaga kasi ako ever since. So hindi ko naging struggle yung comparing myself with other people. Hindi ko nafi-feel na ano, na napag-iiwanan ako ng iba. Hindi dun nanggagaling yung ano, yung sense na parang there's more to what I could achieve and all. Um, Ano lang, I guess it's mainly because I'm an achiever sa school ever since I was a kid. And my mom, who is also a multi-potentialite, has helped me explore sobrang daming mga bagay, some of which I've excelled in, different things. Some of which naman hindi ko talaga naging trip. So, ah mga mga bagay, musical instruments and all, swimming, Milo chess, Milo basketball, yung mga gano'n. So, kung ano-anong mga stuff. I guess I was brought up uh, with the notion na I could be the best that I could be or parang I could reach my full potential and all that, okey. So, laging internal yung push sa'kin to the point na I was really super duper hard on myself. And that created immense amounts of pressure na habang I was in my mid-20s like led to different, breakdown moments. Um, and that's really what I consider one of my biggest failures. One of my biggest failures is kung paano ko tratuhin yung sarili ko. Um, I wish I realized it sooner na there are things that actually take time, and it's not always speed in achieving something that determines if you are maximizing your potential. Nowadays, I could as easily say, um, alam ko na nama-maximize ko yung potential ko if I'm playing sustainably. Kumbaga, yung mga bagay na ginagawa ko has a long-term, like, rhythm to it na alam kong I'll be doing it for years of my life on end. And kaya ko siyang ipagpatuloy playing that game moving forward. Regardless of the speed, sometimes puwede kong bilisan, sometimes puwede kong bagalan, pero what really matters there is continually playing it. And what has saved me from that harsh treatment of myself is actually yung rock bottom moments din from that very kumbaga mainly my failures were because of how I was treating myself, eh. Pero yung naging random cure din for for that, or at least what created that shift is, um, the idea is this: lahat ningas kugon ako, and that's my second failure, okey. I try something and then I try it for a time and then makukuha na naman ng ibang bagay yung attention ko. And then ang ita-try ko na naman is yung next na yun na thing. And that has translated into, like, the business ventures I've had through the years. So, hindi ko pa maayos na na-handle or hindi pa pulido yung system sa isang business venture ko. 'Pag nakakita ako ng ibang opportunity to generate money, which is more about riding the trends usually, magja-jump na ako kaagad into that next thing and try to figure that out. And then, mapapa-work ko yun. I have a knack for earning. Pero at the same time, may mapapabayaan din ako na ibang ventures na could have been better if bago ko i-lessen, bago ako mag-hands off sa kanila, bago ko i-lessen yung time ko dun, mas nabuo ko na sana yung foundation niya so that it can work even with less time, energy, and attention from my end. So that's a usual pattern with me through the years. So, sa loob ng isang taon, I'm trying about like business ventures, 5 to 6 business ventures sa loob ng isang taon. Iba-iba yung capital needed, iba-iba din naman sila ng laki, 'no? Pero hindi ko napapansin before na nahahati ako with all those. So yun yung ano ko, offline version ko ng FOMO, offline version ng shiny new object syndrome, pero business venture or income stream. Hindi pa courses, hindi pa programs, hindi pa mga coaching and stuff, hindi pa anything you can buy online. Nung mga panahon na yun, this was 2014, 2013 onwards, ano pa, business model, anything na puwedeng pagkakitaan, income streams. That's what I jump, to, like, from one income stream to the next income stream and all that. So, para siyang ultimate, unlimited sideline, gano'n. Unlimited side hustle mode, okey? So, I consider that as another, failure of sorts. Yung, um, starting things too early, kumbaga yung pag-timing sa mga bagay, and then leaving things too early, eh. I could have gotten at a better pacing if, mas nagkaroon ng control over yung gano'ng klase ng scenario. Um, because there is a way to fast track creating useful, profitable foundations for any business, right? Wish I knew that sooner. Pero puwedeng pabilisin yung pag-build ng isang business venture na matino na kaagad siya within a specific time frame, and alam mo puwede ka ng mas mag-hands off from that point onwards. If talagang ikaw yung klase ng tao na na gusto mo may multiple stuff ka na ginagawa under your belt, okey. Um, Somehow I got some breakthrough in this when I started an agency back in 2017. So at least yun lang muna yung naging main thing, yeah. And then tsaka nag-build on top of that. But yeah, so looking at this, talking about my failures, in business, um, hindi lang in business actually, pero like talking about my failures, yun yung isang ano dun, factor dun. A little bit more self-control, a little bit more intentionality to build foundations, could have been like way, way better for different business ventures that I did. Um, Another failure that I consider here, like with all the stuff na nangyari sa akin, aside from treating how I was treating myself and how I was jumping from one business to the next, and not treating systems intentionally. Um, Ito sobrang memorable nito. When I went into debt because of a business venture that I did with a few business partners. Um, Basically, we got scammed. Okay, we got scammed. We paid for supplies na hindi nakarating sa amin in full. Um, Another thing like this is working with a service provider na they were they were a team of students who are videographers, creatives. And we hired them for a specific job. And then eventually we lost the contract dun because yung output nila was subpar. So, and that's basically we lost the contract. Uh, it's supposed to be 9 months worth of work and like 9 months worth of pay in seven figures. Pero because of within the 2-month time frame that we were working together, like may subpar kami na output na hindi na may kinover kaming event na sobrang labo nung video tsaka audio dun sa event na yun because we were using service providers na hanggang dun lang pala yung quality ng equipment nila. Like, so we lost the contract. And eto yung two scenarios na 'to, very ano siya, parang akong hindi naligo ng matagal ta's binuhusan ako ng biglaan ng ice bucket challenge, gano'n yung pakiramdam. Ano siya, these are experiences na matatauhan ka, yan. Working on specific deals na ang taas nung expectation ko, ang taas ng excitement ko, na may made-deliver na gan'tong supply kasi may gan'tong order, so gumastos na kami dun. Tapos trusting a specific person in that area. And then trusting yun din, service providers in that specific area. Um, ang failure is this, um, dalawang layer. There are people na, um, hindi mo kapareho ng values. But not necessarily dahil hindi mo kapareho ng values, ano na kaagad, you can't work with them, okey? Hindi yun. That's what most other people say na work only with yung kapareho mo ng values and all, like, I get that, there's benefit in that kasi 100 pero walang 100% kapareho mo ng values, eh. So meron pa ring magiging differences, yan, okey. So but values should be a filter, that's one. At the very least, your core values, yung top values mo talaga, there should be shared values within a company dynamic, within individual dynamics. It's easier to work with people na meron kayong shared values. Hindi ka pareho ng values, but shared values. Hindi 100% dapat pareho, okay? But there's the other side to it, which is compatibility, no? Wherein even if meron kayong differences in values, nako-complement niyo ba talaga yung isa't isa into, working together na mas magiging smoother over time? So on both cases, ang failure is vetting the actual context of the situation, and I was actually chasing the immediate route towards the win. I was chasing the immediate route towards ano yung mako-consider ko as breakthrough. Basically, I was very impatient during those times. And hindi ko napansin na impatience yun. Why? Because I was riding the momentum of where our businesses, dalawang magkaibang business yun, but of where the business was heading, anong direksyon ng business pumupunta. So, akala ko dati kapag hindi ka lang okey, kunyari malungkot ako, depressed ako and all, I'm prone to making bad decisions. Pero pero etong dalawang scenario na 'to, ang common factor pala dun is I was too excited because of how things are moving forward in both of those businesses dun sa season na yun ng buhay ko. Kumbaga, things are going well. I felt healthy, I felt wise, I felt like I'm on fire. I felt like ano 'to, like things are gonna be great and like ano 'to, tuloy-tuloy lang 'to na mangyayari and all that. So, I was euphoric. Kumbaga addicted ako dun sa sense of the next win kasi nga nasa momentum, eh. Not knowing na there's a side to me na I was very impatient na pala during those times. Kasi para ako naghahabol nung next high nung win. I consider that impatience kasi mas short-term dynamics talaga yung tinitingnan ko nun, hindi long-term dynamics. So even if there were essentially some systems in place na could have been filters for decision making of who we will be working with, para siyang na-throw out of the window. So hindi nasunod yung parang internal SOP or something like that. Hindi na-vet ng maayos yung opportunities with the people that I was working with at that time. Naging blindside siya. And unfortunately, though hindi lahat ng blindsides natin will will cause harm or the same type of damage. In those two cases, yung klase ng damage dun is yung klase ng damage na matatauhan ka. Because it's supposed to be years of earnings and tinrabaho mo. You put in blood, sweat, and tears. And then one simple mistake of choosing who to work with, nasa huli wala ka naman talagang ibang ibang ano, ibang magte-take responsibility dun kundi sarili. But the loss is immense to the point na magmamarka siya. And ngayon kaya ko ng tawanan yung experiences na yun. 'Cause I've kinda dissected na, where the root cause of those choices actually came from. There's such a big difference when you're playing the long game. In life, taking care of yourself, living the best life. In relationships, like building solid, long-lasting relationships. And also in business, playing a sustainable, profitable na business. And yun lang naman, like these are my failures and I would just like to share some of it. Sobrang dami pa actually. I created a 7-episode podcast called Hari ng Sablay. Okay. But that's actually an exclusive content for my Life Systems Nation community. Mas in-depth na stuff on the failures that I've had, which is in actuality, even if some people like from time to time say na, "Uy, ang okey ng buhay mo ngayon." I would even say this, I failed more times than I made the right choices. Gosh, um, if people only knew. Um, so right now, I just want kumbaga ma-lessen yung ganong scenario. Kasi hindi lahat ng choices pantay-pantay ng 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 puwedeng mangyari 'no, both the good and the bad. Hindi rin lahat ng failures pantay-pantay ng damage and impact. So, quantified failures at the very least, a better lens of looking at how much do we want to fail and at what level of failure can we allow ourselves to execute with, because that matters, especially for the business people na nanonood nito, no? There's lots of decisions at stake and consequences and effects at stake with how you are managing failure, the pre, proper, and post context. And at the same time, what types of failure and intensity yung gusto mo talagang i-take moving forward. So yeah, here's to us failing forward and growing from it. Salamat ng marami for watching this. Kage Thoughts. Bukas, episode 9. I don't know yet anong oras, pero yeah, we'll just go ahead with it. Cheers.